Okay, everyone, good morning. Today I'm looking at the demand and supply. What I'm going to do here is to use a graph to determine the equilibrium. So if you remember, we said there is all things being equal, there is an inverse relationship between, when it comes to demand, there is an inverse relationship between price and quantity, right? That is, anytime that your price goes up, you reduce the quantities that you are consuming. And at the same time, all things being equal, there is a direct relationship between prices and quantity supplied. That is, anytime that prices increases, the quantity that you supply also increases. And anytime that there is a decrease in price, the quantity that you supply also decreases. So let's try and then draw our graph. Sorry. So let's draw our graph, right? So this is the quantity side, and this is the price. And we said there is an inverse relationship. So this becomes the quantity demand, right? And this, let's say, and this becomes the quantity supply, QS, right? So at the point where the quantity demand and the quantity supply meets, is what we call the equilibrium, right? So from here to here, we call it equilibrium price. And we call this part equilibrium quantity. So if they ask you what is the meaning of how do you define equilibrium price, so we say equilibrium price is at a point at which the quantity demand is also equal to what the quantity supply, right? So what happens? So that is equilibrium quantity, equilibrium price. So what happens if the price is above the equilibrium, right? So let's say we have a certain price here, P1. And you have a certain price here, P2, right? So when the price is above equilibrium price level, right, which is this point, what should happen? Always the economy should be at what? The equilibrium level. So let's look at the situation whereby the price is above the equilibrium level, right? Equilibrium price. So that means when I trace here up to this point, this becomes quantity demand. This becomes the quantity demand at that point, and this becomes the quantity, and this becomes the quantity supply at that point, right? So at price level 1, at price level 1 is okay. At price level 1, that is at P1, right? You can see that the quantity supplied, right, is greater than the quantity demand, right? So because this is the quantity supply here, and this is the quantity that we're demanding here, right? So because the quantity supplied is greater than the quantity demand, what is going to happen? There's going to be what? Excess supply, right? There's going to be excess supply. So I'm calling it ES. Now, when there is an excess supply, that means producers would have to reduce what their prices in order for firms to buy, right? Else it goes waste. So because there's excess supply, firms are going to reduce their prices, right? In order for consumers to buy. So they reduce their price until it gets back to what? The equilibrium level, and they stop, right? Now let's look at price level 2. So this is the price level 2. So we can trace it also from here. Now the price level 2, this is going to be the quantity supply, right? And this is going to be the quantity demand, great. So at price level 2, at that point, quantity demand is greater than what? Quantity supplied. Now, if demand exceeds supply, what happens? That means you have what? Excess demand, right? Now, if you have excess demand, what happens? The goods we have in the market are few, meanwhile the demand is higher, right? The demand exceeds supply. So in that case, firms will charge higher price, right, in order for people to buy, right? So because there is an excess demand, prices will increase, right? So that means excess demand means prices will increase. So prices will go up until it also gets what? The equilibrium, which is this point. So what it means is that at any point, at any prices, at any price, if there's a deviation in the equilibrium price, right, it will always restore back to the equilibrium, right? So if the price is above the equilibrium level, because there's going to be what excess supply, it is going to cause price to fall down until it gets to equilibrium. And at the same time, when the price is below the equilibrium level, right? Because there's going to be what excess demand, it will also ensure that our prices increases until it gets back to the equilibrium level, right? So anytime that there's a deviation in the market price or equilibrium price, it will always be restored. Is it okay? Thank you.